Where's the camera? You just have this little rinky-dink GoPro?
The algorithm thing, Hunter, you wouldn't understand.
I don't want to get wet.
Anyway, the Ambassador Summit was in Nevada, just north of Vegas. The idea was to get a bunch of guys out there and let them beat the crap out of it before the media even did, and see what they thought about it. It was super fun. We started, basically ran the first 150 miles of the Vegas to Reno course.
Oh. Okay.
Some of the people that we were out there was me, not Cody. And, you know, there's actual famous people, and then me. So something I'm seeing a lot of is people comparing the Maverick R to the X3 and thinking that, you know, they should have built this thing narrower because, you know, the guys on the East Coast can't use it. This machine is not meant to replace the X3. It's just an addition to Can-Am's lineup. This thing, at this point, is going to be a killer in the desert. It will absolutely blow everything away, including my race cars in stock form. But tight trails, that is what the X3 is still there for. This thing really likes to stretch its legs on big, rough, wide open sections.
When I drove this thing in Johnson Valley, the first thing I noticed was how stable it felt. The thing is extremely fast, ballistically fast, but it feels like you can't hardly get the thing out of control. It goes just exactly where you point the steering wheel, and it gives you hardly any feedback. So it has like a real rally car kind of feel to it. It feels like it's extremely well maintained and under control at high speeds.
I could rob a bank in an old Mustang. I could fight the cops with my bare two hands. End up beating jail.
So this is right after lunch. I've put about 75 miles on this thing at this point, and had a pretty good feel of it, but this is the first time that I haven't been kind of in a group of people and could actually let this thing, let it eat. One of the first things I noticed was what Cody said. It's extremely stable at high speeds. You know, in other UTVs, if you get those things upwards of 70 miles an hour, you feel like you're going 100. In this thing, it's the opposite. You get it up to 100 and you feel like you're going 60 or 70. It's extremely confident. Another huge thing is the brakes. You know, if you're going across here at 93, in other cars, you kind of have to be very careful because the brakes don't stop that well, and if a big G out sneaks up on you, then it can really catch you off guard and send you for a ride. This thing, not only does it stop almost immediately, you don't get that drivetrain chatter that you have out of a lot of other UTVs because it's got an electronic disconnect in the driveline. So when you let off the gas, it disengages the front diff, and you can use the brakes as hard as you want. You don't get that that you get where you feel like you're really damaging the driveline of it. Everything was super smooth the whole way through. Then the other thing next to the suspension geometry of this new car is if you don't check up quite enough for a G out, it soaks it up like nothing I've ever felt before. Like, it's hard to tell in the video how rough this is right here, but they've got a ton of rain and all this area flooded and it washed all the topsoil away, and it was just big exposed rocks with a lot of rain ruts, as you can see from the water splash right there. It's not normal out in the desert, so the conditions on this day were extremely rough, but man, this thing just makes you want to go faster and faster as you go through this stuff.
What's really cool about this car is that you can actually use all of the horsepower all the time without worrying about a belt fatiguing. This thing, it doesn't have an overheating issue where a lot of times in our race cars we'll have to just basically drive by the temperature of the melt and take it easy. Like we can hit 80 miles an hour and then we just kind of have to feather it right in that range. This car, you can hold it wide open at 100 miles an hour, which is what it does stock, and just keep it there. It just plant all that power and just run it as long as you want to, and it just keeps going. It's got huge amounts of cooling with the new radiator systems and the new intercooler system. It's pretty incredible, and the way that the transmission goes, it hits top gear and just hold it.
Honestly, I like the way the knuckles look. Apparently some other people on the internet don't. I'm certainly not going to pretend like I passed, second grade geometry, but I'll do my best to explain this. You've got your top
Maybe you should just wait, because I did pass second grade geometry with like flying colors.
What's the square root of 52?
5.
All right, Cody, why don't you answer this question? You're qualified.
So basically, what Can-Am's done here with this tall knuckle design is they've separated the load. If you have both your A-arms connecting right here, you have a huge amount of pressure being applied, because your leverage is your tire. So your tire does this, and it pulls these 2 points really hard. And whenever you separate that load, all of a sudden you've taken the mechanical advantage and put it above the tire and right here in the base. And it separates that pressure point so that it doesn't transfer all of that energy through the A-arm and into the frame through the ball joint here. Basically, it's beefed up the front end and the rear end by over double. It's 3 or 4 times stronger and less pressure as compared to previous models.
I know you won't. We share common interests. You need me, there ain't no leaving me behind. Never, no, we're both out of here. Yeah, once we're gone, ain't no going back. If you want, we can be runaways, running from.
So we put a ton of miles on the Maverick R at this point, and to say that I'm impressed is pretty much the understatement of the century. Can-Am is definitely up the bar with what a side-by-side is capable of. What this thing can do is stuff that you only saw on trophy trucks and Class 1 race cars.
Desperado.
Everybody's asking what our KOH cars are going to look like, and the truth is we don't know yet. We're going to be doing some testing soon in the rocks. We'll see. I mean, the X3 is pretty tough to beat in the rocks. Obviously, we know this thing is going to be a killer in the desert, but time's going to tell how it gets through the rock trails.
What I'm mostly excited for is whenever we head to KOH and we hit that first section of that race, the desert loop, we are going to be going so much faster. We are going to, I guarantee we're going to go a third faster than what we were ever capable of going in a previous vehicle, and it is going to be a game changer.
I am scared to say how fast I think this thing will go once it's unlocked and has some serious horsepower thrown behind it once we get a race tune in it, but I'm thinking maybe 115.
I'm going for 120.
122.
Oh, 122, yeah. Or maybe 221.
I'd say 190, but I don't want to go that fast.
I don't want him to go that fast either.
Yeah, desperado.